We're cutting. Guys, I think we're live. Welcome to Wednesday evening Hot Pot Podcast. We are live today with a very interesting guy. He is a brand new grad from KCL London as of June, July this year. And he's also an amateur bodybuilder. So big welcome to Samson Gahir. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having
No,
me.
pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
It's honestly an honor and a pleasure, especially with the people that you've had on in the past, both sort of like up and coming dentists and new grads. But I think a lot of people probably would have seen the bloody tooth guy. I think you did that last
Friday
week,
night, yeah.
and so it's quite nice to be sort of almost like recognised for kind of what I'm trying to do anyway.
Get huge.
By a
Or die
dentist.
trying.
So that's really nice. Yeah. Literally try and get as big as possible while fitting into one of those tunics. I actually had a mare with my tunic when I started foundation training. My educational supervisor ended up just chucking me a medium, and it was okay because I was dieting. Ended up kind of squeezing into it, but now I'm filling out. I can actually feel it, sort of.
Yeah, you'll have
filling out. It's
you'll have
quite
to get
nice.
some stretch scrubs or something.
Yeah, and then get like that a slim fit or muscle fit. I'm pretty sure that there must be a company as well that probably do things like that, tailored scrubs.
Yeah,
But,
well, there's a gap in the market. I know there are a couple of companies that are doing some pretty nice stuff. You've got like jogger scrubs from the States. They're supposed to be really nice. I've not actually tried them yet, but I reckon that would be the most comfortable thing that you could get. I don't know about the tops though. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it is. You don't want anything too figure hugging though,
No,
do
because
you?
you need to get your arms around and stuff, don't you?
Yeah. But it's good. It's good. Aesthetic is everything in apparently a lot of things these days. Dentistry, bodybuilding.
100%. Should we quickly touch upon KCL because we've had Erin on, so we know enough, right?
Yeah.
So we just want to hear your perspective,
Yes.
your experience, how you felt the whole thing went, the whole thing, university, and then we'll talk about the gym afterwards as well.
Yeah, I mean King's was. So I'm originally from Birmingham, and I just didn't want to study in Birmingham. Even mum and dad were kind of very push. Well, especially dad was like, stay at home, kind of do it at Birmingham. Birmingham's a good uni, and it is a fantastic uni. But I've always been like, I just want to like do stuff, like do something new, like challenge myself. So I actually had no idea what I was doing. Sort of apply. I actually got a B in GCSE English language, and so that actually tailored my
your choices,
options to university. Whittled it down to about 5 or 6 unis. Couldn't be asked to do BMAT for Leeds, so I thought so that's how I ended up applying to one of the reasons why I applied to King's as one of my choices. And then I literally just had no idea. I was like, you don't really realize the magnitude of London until you're actually there in it. I was quite lucky because now, given the current situation, I was able to experience London with some of my best mates, like my bros, some of my best mates, like lived with them for 4 years. They're all dentists as well. Like, so experience London at its peak with, people I'm so close to was just an amazing opportunity. And I wouldn't change any, like all the good, all the bad, the highs, the lows. And, there has to be highs and lows and good and bad. I just wouldn't change any of it because it's definitely kind of molded me into the person that I am today.
I think that's key. People, I mean, I always complain about Newcastle being really tough, and then people are like, would you go somewhere else? And like, no, I'd stick with it because it's like you moan that it's tough, but then at the end of the day, you come out well-rounded individual.
What year did you graduate?
What year was I supposed to graduate initially, or what year did I end up graduating? There's two different questions there.
Both.
I should have finished 2016. I actually graduated back end of 2017, so a year and a bit late. So
was that 5th year, or was it a different year to retake, or was it insulating?
Second year reset. I went to an exam having not looked at the lectures, more or less in their entirety. So there was a lot of good stuff going on that year.
Was it perio?
No, it was all that embryology slides.
Development.
Oh, it was
embryo development.
I just couldn't.
It's just words, isn't it?
I couldn't even. That was the thing. To be really basic.
Yeah. Fair
And then
enough.
yeah, finals was a little bit of a fluke. I just screwed up and won one exam out of 12 or 13, and then I was pretty relaxed for the upset obviously, but pretty relaxed for the reset. So, but then like you say, these things
Yeah.
mold you and change you into the person you are, open up doors that previously weren't open, and here we are in
Yeah.
the end.
100%. I had to resit my first year exams that same year, as I similar to you. I think just fluked and was lost focus, and I think that just sort of taught me like, well, you kind of got to put your head down at some
Mm.
point as well. It's not going to be all plain
Yeah,
sailing.
it's different moving away
And
from
I
home,
think,
isn't it?
mm, yeah, like even so, I was a keen rugby player. Because even when you start playing rugby and when you come home from like school rugby or club rugby, it's like mum will wash your clothes or mum will have the dinner ready, or you just go to the hot shower, then you just sit down and just watch
Yeah.
TV. But at uni, you've got to get home, wash your own clothes, then you got to make dinner, then you got to think, oh, I've got to do lectures, and it definitely kind of it does set you up, I think, if you manage it well in a nice way. And again, uni could have probably been done right in some better in some
Mm.
ways, but I don't take away from the fact that I did it the way I did, not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Big thank you to the guys who are watching, by the way. I can see Hassan, who's joined us, who's super excited about this one. I think he's looking to get into
okay,
shape. And speak of the
good.
devil, Dr. Erin Morgan is in the comments as well.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us, Erin.
I mm,
Everyone's favorite guest, of course, after, well, every new
yeah,
guest is the favorite guest, of course.
yeah. Okay. Oh, got high expectations then,
Yeah,
isn't it?
well,
High
yeah.
expectations.
Well, no, I'm glad you're here, man. And
Mm, good. Mm,
one question that
I'm happy to be here.
I asked yesterday to Hassan, different Hassan, was
Mm.
with thinking about everything that's going on. How are you really doing?
That's one of the questions is are you okay? It's like $1 million
Yeah,
question. It's never. I think in I'm doing fine. I think I've got enough things going on around me to keep my mind busy. Uh, I don't cope too well, I don't think, if my mind isn't quite busy. So I think when I've sort of got time to start thinking about things, being with my own thoughts as well and stuff, I think that's when I probably don't do as well because everything races through your mind, goes through your mind. So I think I do better if my mind is
yeah,
busy. After my competition, I'm saying I had a couple of days where honestly I woke up at 5 a.m. and I just sat on my bed for like 45 minutes, just scrolling either through Instagram or just looking out the window. I was like, thinking, and I was like, what do I do with
mm,
myself? Now that I've kind of found new focuses and sort of taken that mindset and applied it to different things again, keeping my mind busy again, I think that you never really know what's going on with someone till you always scratch beneath the surface. Instagram or what I put on social media is always going to be a front. It just always is. And I say it to everybody.
yeah,
And one thing, again, I'll just touch on this briefly. When you say how you're doing, is even when you look at social media or Instagram or anything, um, that is, like I said, the snapshot. But one thing I like is I used to use Instagram as a personal highlight reel. And like if I'm out, I post. If I'm in Guy's Hospital, floor training, I post. If I out with my mates, like in a club or something, Mayfair Club, I'd post. But I think then it kind of that also how you're doing. It's are you really doing that? Are you really doing that well? And so everybody has lots of stuff going on in their lives and stuff. So just bear in mind that that is always only going to be a snapshot of how I'm actually doing.
yeah. It's
But
an impossible
that
question, I know, and I hope.
it is. But that is my escape almost as well. Is if I'm busy doing that, I know I'm not thinking too much about anything else.
Mm,
Uh, but I also believe, and I've said to a few people, I don't believe in having bad days or crap days or shit days. Not sure, not sure how the censorship's going to be. I think you have character building days. So although you're gonna have a bad day, it's what can you learn from that day and then take it forward.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
I,
it's interesting you say that because you say you didn't do so well in maybe first year or something.
yeah,
Was there something that was going on? Because I know when I had my low exam periods, kind of in terms of progression and achievement in the exams, there was something else going on. Would you say there was
Yeah,
something else? And when you sit down to revise, well, you're either looking at the paper, and at some point you start going a bit blank because that's how revision is, and then all those other thoughts just go whoomp and hit you.
Yeah, there was. I think the focus wasn't there.
Mm.
The focus wasn't there at all. It was on uni. Like I said, London. It's overwhelming. You don't really. You don't really. I never really comprehended what I was doing. I say to people, it's a weird concept. You sort of being 18 and your mom and dad just dropping you off in a random city.
Yeah.
And London being one of the biggest cities in the world, and just leaving you there to fend for yourself. And they're like, right, okay, go and make your life and come back in 5 years, or let's see where you are in 5 years'
Yeah.
time. So I think, like I said, lots of focus, like going out, distractions, social life, friends, sport. Like I remember I used to I'd rather sort of, I think like before one of my exams, I went to the gym. Yeah, I was like, I need to get a workout in. So, and it was like, oh, that's so silly. I'm like, nah, can't be that silly. But it is in hindsight. But like I said, I can look back now and be like, oh, it molded you. But like I said, I'm doing well, and I think one thing I'm trying to put out there is I would like to be someone as well, or for someone to talk to. I'm not saying that I'm no therapist, or I'm not claiming I am, but I think as both someone who has been surrounded by physical
Yeah.
fitness and the impact that I've seen it can have on someone's mental well-being, including my own, and then as well being a dentist and being a healthcare professional, I feel like I'm able to provide a platform where, using my experience, I might be able to help even just one person or two people. That for me is better than helping no one.
Yeah, and I kind of want to set the
So
scene
it's
there because I know, because I've gone through periods of lots of gym, too much gym, just enough, and then no gym.
yeah,
So I know the
yeah, okay,
I know the way that it can, in terms of physical fitness and keeping active, absolutely change your
mm,
mental well-being and mental state. And obviously you're someone who's very much into fitness and everything, and you've
mm,
probably
mm,
not had as many off periods as I have, because I'm
mm.
probably a little less consistent
Well,
as I would like.
again, yeah, you'll be surprised. I mean, it happens to everyone. Again, like I think there were days like even this morning, like my alarm went off at 5 o'clock, and even when I came home today, my mom was like, "Your eyes look so
Mm,
tired." I'm like, I know, I know, but I'm still. You kind of just think you've got to get through it, and what you'll achieve with it. You do have off days, but you'll feel much better if you persevere, and feel a lot tougher. And I think one of the things that sorry if I'm talking too much, just to interject. One of the things that I sort of read about was, say on a Monday you think you can't do it, but you end up doing it. On Tuesday you think you still can't do it, but you end up doing it. On Wednesday you still think you can't do it again, but you end up. Then it means when it gets to Thursday and you want to sort of take a rest, whether it be from the gym, whether it be from work, like whether it be from your diet, whether it be from just literally, like I always say to my patients, just take a deep breath in and out. Just at least then by Thursday you think, you know what, I've earned this, I've deserved it, and it's actually so worth
mm.
it. But I agree with you. The phases that you can go through with the gym and stuff, as you were saying, it's quite interesting actually as well. How some people can pick it up, pick it off. And like I said, I've never been that person, just to kind of like, unless I had an injury last year, so I wasn't able to gym for about 10 weeks. And my mum did say to me as well. Actually, she said, "I was like, you don't seem too well. Like I'm not saying depressed, but she was like, you don't look too good. Like, mom, I I can't do the thing I love most. I can't do the thing that
The
helps me
thing
the
that
most.
keeps you centered, the thing that keeps
Yeah,
your mind kind of at rest and at bay, and all
mm,
that kind of, I'm not going to say aggression because that's like a cliche, but that
yeah,
restlessness, you get somewhere
yeah,
to take
yeah.
it out. And you're right, when you go through these every day when you get up, there's that
Mm,
little voice that goes, not today, bro.
yeah, yeah.
It's only
But
legs.
was it? Well, you say legs. I've learned to enjoy leg
I
day.
don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it. But again, it is that thing, you know, when you first go into the gym, for example, I can imagine everybody's a
Yeah.
beginner going, oh, but it hurts so much. You know, you sit down to on the bathroom and you kind of just have to let gravity do its work. There's nothing that can
Like,
help you out. And then you know, obviously the next time you go, well, maybe I'll just do arms instead. And there's a video I sent to my friend just recently from TikTok. It was hilarious, and it's like, you only live once. Why are you going to spend your time doing legs? Yeah, that's a chance of an arm pump missed out there, bro.
yeah. You say that I'll actually send you an amazing video. It's done by a bodybuilder called Jordan Peters. If a couple of the right people watch this, they'll know I'm talking about. Dentist Alex King. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram. Him and I like exchange a lot, and him and I love Jordan Peters. And there's a video, and I just got to send it you. He talks about when you're first training and about leg training and why you should do it. And I learned to love legs. I owe a lot of my legs to a lot of leg days with my other mate who's my training partner, Alex Davies. Lived with him again for 4 years. He was my training partner throughout uni. But a lot of squats were done. Let's just say that way, a lot of squats. And he always used to push me as well. So I do owe my legs to him a little bit as well, because he's about 5'8", 5'7", but good frame, but a very good squatter. And so it's always good having a good training partner on leg. Do you train legs on your own?
I'm doing home gym stuff at the moment, so yeah, I'm by my
Uh,
ones.
prior to it, did you?
Yeah, so there was when I was in uni, I was always going with someone, whether it was you know, like
Yeah.
the same person, or there were a few different guys that I used to go with, or there was a group of us, because our dental school was essentially built next to the gym. You could see the gym from the dental school
Yeah.
windows. So when you went
Yeah.
down, you know, there was always guys in there that you knew, and
Mm.
then you know you get to be good mates with people, and then you'd be like, okay, yeah, do you fancy doing like a program together? You know, whatever it was, like
Yeah.
PPL if they're doing the same thing, or you just go in at the same time, and you know, if you need a spot on a bench
Mm.
or a squat session, you know, then you got someone there.
Yeah. That's good. So, how are you finding motivation working out on your own?
Well, you not too bad actually. Since we have the
Yeah.
right things. Previously, we up until kind of a while back, we just had like a rope and we had a couple of like free weights. You know, nothing proper. Obviously, no one's going
Yeah.
to be traveling anytime soon and stuff like that. So me and my brother, and we live at home, so we've, you know, all
Oh,
working,
nice.
so we can save up a bit. And we said, you know what, we're not going to be going away for a while, so no one's going to the gym either.
Mm.
Cancel all our gym memberships. Get a gym set up of some sort. You know, very very
So,
basics. We've got a bar, we've got a bench, we've got something to rack it on.
yeah, it's all you
Yeah.
need. Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean I'm doing a PPL split. So
Mm. What? So this is actually, so yeah. I heard you said
yeah.
PPL split. How? So are you interesting? So how are you following a split? Your PPL split. I'd be interested to, because not a lot of people follow it correctly, from my experience.
Right.
In the sense they will do push pull legs, rest, then they'll do push pull, skip out the last leg day and rest, and they'll follow a 7-day cycle.
Right.
Um,
Well, I'll finish answering the last
but
question, because what I'm basically, the way that I'm keeping
yeah,
myself motivated is I'm posting it. So
yes, I've
more or less
seen.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
posting all of them, unless I've forgotten, because I've been listening to a podcast on YouTube on my phone or something, and I've not
Yeah.
actually filmed anything. But yeah, most of them, and then that keeps me honest, because if I go a week without posting,
That's your.
it's up to
Yeah,
everybody watching to go, you faker, and call me out on
yeah,
it.
yeah. That that's your
Yeah.
accountability, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
your.
but in terms
Yeah,
of
fair enough.
keeping the actual PPL going, I've got a diary. I'm writing down everything. I'm writing down,
Yeah,
was it a good set?
good man.
Was it poor depth? Was it half reps? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Which
That's
yeah,
nice to hear.
and it's good because I don't need to take anything with me. It's all just there, so the book stays there.
Yeah,
I don't have to have
yeah,
this
yeah.
big carrying hold all with all the different things
Mm.
anymore. So yeah, it's made it a bit easier, and I'm pretty much just doing compounds only. So
Okay,
Chest day
fairs,
is
yeah.
OHP first, followed by bench, followed by incline if I've still got some breath left in me, and
Hmm.
then it's back day, so pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, and then a bent over
Yeah.
row, and then it's
Hmm.
squats and deadlifts.
Fairs, yeah. There's a lot you can do with barbell. You've got RDLs, stiff legs. You've got pendlay rows for back. There's a few more I'm just
Mm.
throwing out if you want to try them. There's shrugs, throw them on a back day. Loads to do. There's a lot you can do with just a barbell and weights. People don't
Yeah, yeah. I
realize.
mean, I'm a big fan of
I think.
sumo when it comes to deadlifting.
Okay.
Um,
Is that to take the
Lower
pressure of
back.
your
Yeah, I've
lower
got
back?
lower back issues already.
Mm. See, this is one thing that I wanted to talk about. I've realized dentistry, being a healthcare profession, is an unhealthy profession.
Oh, it's
It,
very unnatural. Completely screws you up.
yeah,
Um, and it really makes you think twice
and
because you're gonna end up if I just go sideways from here
mm,
down there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and but the other thing that irks me, I'll say, because it irritate me, but irks me because that's just a little bit more than a noise, but not too much to piss me off. Is the number of dentists that say they've got lower back problems, but then
Not doing anything about it.
what are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing? So actually, what you're doing, okay, a sumo deadlift will still train your lower back, so you'll still strengthen it. Go do hyperextensions. Wake up half an hour early and do mobility for your
Yeah.
lower back,
Yeah.
shoulders, and lats. Like, yes, you can say you've got lower back issues, but if we're not doing anything about it, then how do you expect to overcome it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Um,
Yeah.
I say, I say to people, deadlift. I'm not saying to you go on deadlift 4 or 5 plates per side. I'm saying you only have to do like 100 kilo or whatever's within your limit for a good amount of reps, but build up the strength or give your back the strength of
Mm.
posture. Teach yourself. That thing annoys me a little bit. But like I said, the idea is as well to kind of promote it, the health, the well-being in dentistry as well, because I have realised that it's. I think people will probably start to realise the kind of person I am now. Like, well, a dentist saying they got lower back problems. So every dentist out
I know, but
there.
it's the idea. It's that caveat that goes. You're saying it all, and going, well, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
sort that out. You just need to do this, and you go, nah,
Mm,
that's not for me because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind of girl that lifts weights. I don't want to get too
yeah.
bulky,
Mm.
or
Well,
whatever
you
other
said,
things people come out with.
yeah, you said that about girl. Interesting, the girl thing as well. As I mean, like I'm not going to try not to spend it, but it's interesting the number of people that come to me and say, "I don't want to get too bulky," and I have justified it to them, and they understand it. And all my female clients now lift weights.
Mm,
I 1, 2, 3. I think I had about 4 last year. Um, all lift weights now. I had a new one that started 4 weeks ago. Now they're doing a lockdown program, lifting weights. Love it. Like she's doing absolutely amazing. I think she's lost. Our target was 5 kilos in 8 weeks, and she's already done 3 kilos in 4 weeks. So
nice.
it's just yeah, like it's just I think it's one of the best things you can do for your body. Um,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't have to jump. You don't have to jump on a stage. I think that's one thing I'm trying to mix up a little bit more because I remember one of my mates, she was saying to me, "Oh, I think it needs to appeal a little bit more to dentists and to just sort of average or normal gym goers." And that's why now I'm kind of coming out with some more workout videos. I can put a little bit more time into it at home, and just sort of being able to connect with people kind of on a different level, but on a level that I was at as well. Just enjoying going to the gym before taking it
yeah. I mean,
seriously.
guys like you and me who are almost in a way obsessed. I'm watching every
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah,
Nippard video out there. I'm I'm
yeah,
googling
yeah,
what protein has the highest absorption rate, and all this kind of
yeah,
weird
yeah, yeah.
stuff. And uh,
Yeah, the science behind it is
mm,
fascinating, though. Like even if I was looking at glycemic index and how insulin sensitivity reacts with that to protein synthesis. I get what you're saying. The obsession is there, um, but I think being able to connect to
to normal
dentists
people.
and other people and to normal, yeah, normal people, um, I think is important as well. And as you were saying before, sort of translating back, I think lifting weights is probably, it's one of the best things you can do if you make it your hobby for your body. It's important. So that's another message that I do try and get across to my non-dentist clients.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I can't remember who said it or whether it was a sketch or something. I feel like it was a sketch, and someone goes, "Oh, if you thought picking up weights is going to make you so big, why is it taking me so long? And I've been going every day for the last 6 years and stuff like that."
I like
it's
that.
not.
Yeah.
It's some girls think that by picking up some weights, you're just going to become Arnold within a couple of weeks. It's so difficult. You have to really smash it and go crazy, basically.
And even then, I mean, they still won't. They haven't got. I mean, I'm being honest again. They won't have the hormone balance with the testosterone, the estrogen. Arnie had steroids. They won't genetic makeup. Like
he started at 12.
Even
you started at 12, 13.
Yeah. And he still ended up at 6'2", 6'3", so it doesn't cause spinal problems for him.
I've got a story about that particular study. The one that said that weight training causes stunted growth.
Oh yeah, I'd be interested to hear it.
So essentially,
I'm also a little bit hungry, by the way. I'm so sorry.
Essentially, that particular study was done on some, I think it was Taiwanese children who were working down a mine or something crazy like that. Okay. And they were putting bags of coal or something on the back, which caused stunted growth.
Yeah.
And then some genius in the US or EU or wherever it was goes, oh, well, that's heavy, so therefore weight training causes stunted growth.
And boom, yeah. Okay, I did not know that.
It was something along those lines. Don't quote me exactly, but it's something that ridiculous. Yeah.
And then they just sort of, oh, well, someone's squatting with weightlifting. Now, I mean, I started squatting at the age of 15, or I started weight training at the age of 15. Just I mean, you're not the police. I remember on my gym application, I put I was 16, just so I could get into the gym with my dad. And then, I just started lifting at 15. So, to be honest, it doesn't stunt you out. I'm 6 foot, 6'3.5", 6'4". I'm pretty tall, so it hasn't stunted my growth. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that was one that always, it kind of made me laugh, and it was also really annoying because people keep on parroting it, and I was like, just actually, well, I've told you exactly what it is, but they're like, no, you can't be right there. But no, I've literally read this. It's ridiculous.
So you promote the squatting and the deadlifting,
yeah, 100%.
Through the dentistry as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not averse to a traditional deadlift. Like when I started the program, I was doing traditional. I just feel more comfortable doing a sumo for some reason. I don't know if it's just my levers and the way my legs and arms are, the length and all that sort of stuff. It just suits me a bit better. To keep my back a little straighter.
See, I'm a conventional. I like feet together, shoulder width, but I do some sumo on leg days. I think there's a place for every single bit of training in your training. How have you found sort of gym and dentistry as well? Because you probably went through the FD route, and then what was your route to where you are with dentistry, and how have you managed gym with that? Because I'll be interested, because that's what I have to plan for as well.
See, it was a nightmare actually. Through uni, it was brilliant. It was so easy. I was pretty regular all the way up until halfway through 4th year, and then I sort of clocked that I wasn't doing enough work, and I didn't want to go through a second year situation again. So I cut down the gym. I was still doing bits here and there. And then, when you came out, been sitting in the library for 2 years, almost a year and a half, because I failed the reset, and then I've been going to takeaways because I'm not cooking, because I've just got to do as much work as I can. Yeah, so I did put on a bit there, and I'm still maybe fighting a little bit of that belly fat off. FD year was difficult. I don't know how you found it. I suppose your FD is going to be really, really strange compared to other people's, because you're probably not doing as much clinical work as we would have been with patient contacts and stuff. So I found it difficult.
So okay, go on, no, carry on. So you found it, and then what was your route to where you are now, dentistry wise? Because I presume you're just working practice.
I'm not working right now. I mean, I left my NHS job in September-ish time, and then be looking for a private job when when I find one that I like the look of. So yeah.
Fair enough. So how did you find gym up to, let's say, pre-COVID as well, and dentistry? Like, were you able to fit it in around work, or
Yeah, I would go.
was
I
it
would go
difficult?
after work. Again, at that point, I was going with my cousin because he lived where I was working. Um, so
Okay.
that kind of worked for us because you have someone to chat to and stuff like that. Because going after work is difficult, especially if you're doing 8 till 5:30 or 9 till 6:30. It's a long old day, so you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to have some
Mm.
sort of a social element to it. Otherwise, it's going to be a real slog. Going in somewhere that you just
Yeah.
don't know anyone because you moved away from university town. You moved away from where you knew
Mm.
everyone. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, and in that bubble as well, when
oh,
you're at
there's like
uni, it's all
yeah.
familiar faces, and even just the roads, the people. Yeah, no, I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
so
Fair
that
enough.
that that's kind of the difficult part, and I don't know if the guys who are watching. Oh, got a comment. I don't even know who Jim is. Defo help a brother out.
Mm.
Um, thanks, Hassan. That was
Who was
Hassan
that?
Nasir. Yeah.
Huh.
He's the guy that I interviewed a while back in lockdown on Insta Live. He was working in prison dentistry and stuff. Really cool, crazy
Oh wow.
stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
but
Mm.
yeah. What was my point? Yeah,
Interesting.
it's difficult when you've not got that
Uh, mm.
group of there's 10 of the lads, or even some of the girls will be in the gym, and afterwards people are like, oh yeah, he fancy going and getting a Nando's, and we'll get the protein in, and then we can hit the library after. There was a whole thing about
Yeah.
it, especially in Newcastle, such a small city. You
Mm.
could walk around. I don't know if you felt that was
Mm.
like it was this kind of just what's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but there was almost there was momentum. There was
Like a hub.
momentum behind everything
Okay, momentum. Right.
because everyone else is
Okay.
going out of your mates. You're going as well,
Mm.
so that momentum of like a group thing, it just plows you forward, and you don't even think about it.
That's interesting. Yeah. But I think it's always good to have a very s- solid set of friends
Mm,
and mates. Like I said, I was very lucky at uni because I found four lads, and then I said, and we all ended up living together. That I was training with Alex. One he was like, we're in the same scheme now for FD year.
that's gonna
So,
help. Yeah,
and then got Curran, and yeah, and so that was really nice having that solid set of mates to get you through everything, whether it be exams or gym and even on the nights out as well. Like, you have a good time. You got people to look after you. It was good. So I get what you're saying about the whole momentum thing, and everybody kind of helps
yeah.
everybody else. It's important,
Do you think you get the
definitely.
same momentum
Mm.
now that maybe you've left that environment now, more or less? You still got a couple of
Mm.
lads in the scheme, but do you still have that momentum now
Mm.
that you're going to the gym
Hmm.
and post
Yeah,
injury, because you had the injury, whatever, and the fact that you go every day is like, well, I'm always going now, and it's just routine.
yeah. It's habit and routine. I mean, the yeah, where to the I'm a great believer in the mindset. Like, everything starts from up
Mm,
here. Um, but and I think that's helped continue the momentum. But again, I trying to sort of explain myself and just get people to know me a bit more. And even my sister says that, oh, you got such a strong mindset, but that wasn't sort of built overnight.
it's not
That was
innate in
built up
anyone, I
over.
don't think. I think it's just
Mm.
you make a decision every day that you decide you go to
Yeah,
the gym,
yeah.
or
Mm.
anything. And you make a decision when you go and buy that chocolate bar, or you pick up a donut, or
Yeah.
whatever. No one forced you to do that particular thing.
Mm. Oh god, the number of times I had to say no to my mom's just like, oh. I mean, when we used to go shopping when I was on prep, it's just like, oh, which one do you think's healthier? This chocolate bar, or this chocolate bar? I'm looking at like, just go up, what I mean? Like, F off. Like, honestly, like, it got that bad. I was like, that, yeah. So mindset, I think, helps that momentum. Um, and I think I'm able to carry that momentum, I think, as well, because I genuinely love it so
Mm,
much. I think not even obsessed because, like I said, I kind of know where to draw the line. Like, I went away one weekend a couple of weeks ago and just like didn't count macros, didn't count body weight, did no exercise. Like, being able to do that, I think was quite nice. Um, Even now, okay, yes, I measure my body weight and every day and track my lift, but like, that's just, I think, better habits rather than obsessed. I'm not so much so I don't get withdrawal. Like, I think on Monday I thought, you know what, I've trained 4 or 5 days, don't need to train today. I know I'm going to have another 3 days
Yeah.
solid training. So being like starting to listen to my body and stuff. So I think I've definitely formed good habits rather than being obsessed. And as you said, I think the habits and the mindset have helped the momentum and routine.
Yeah, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, the quote unquote normal person, they're going to look at both of us and go, "Yeah, you guys are obsessed." But I think we know kind of
Yeah.
what we're getting at there.
Yeah, there's worse things to be addicted to as well. I think I was saying to again, I'll be honest. I'm being honest. I think it's important to. I think not enough people are transparent. I think people are quick to judge, and I think especially in today's day and age, people are quick to judge. But I have a very thick skin, so as you were saying about people who look on an outside perspective, well, I'd say yes, but I'm pushing my body to my limits, and person X over there, and I'll touch upon something like steroids. Person X over there is going to abuse their body with alcohol. Person X over there is going to abuse their body maybe with
Smoking and
cocaine or
yeah, all
heroin.
these other things.
Next person is that you probably see 1 every 5 patients probably take tobacco in the form of smoking it. Still a drug. They're obsessed. So is me being obsessed with looking after how I look, how I feel, really it's not that bad of a thing to complain about,
There's worse things in the world,
and then
isn't there? Like
yeah,
yeah, there's I know
and
where
and
exactly
then
where you're
again,
coming from.
why I would never judge anybody on taking anabolic steroids. I know people claim like
Whatever.
fake
Yeah.
natty claim like, oh, he's on anabolic steroids. I've had it myself. Like back when gyms were open, my PT, one of his clients said to him afterwards, "Oh, so he must be on something." And Pete's like, "No, he's all natural." I did a natural competition, and he's like, "No, but he must be on something. You're just saying that." And he was like, "No, he's all natural." And he was like, and then he comes over to me and said, "Like, what are you on?" I'm like, and so people also judge even with like steroids and with the gym side of thing. But again, I'd say, well, people choose to abuse their body with A, B, C, X, Y, Z. If someone chooses to abuse it with that, then so be it.
Mm.
I think that's a very important thing to outsiders, as you say, or quote unquote normal people, or people that aren't in or surrounded by it, will make that assumption that it's a bad thing as well, whether it's anabolic steroids or whether I'm doing it or whether I'm not. I'm saying, well, so what if I am? Like,
Yeah, and do
cool.
you
It's
think this
it's me.
kind of on that kind of vein? Do you think there's things that people misunderstand about you as a result of you doing
Yeah,
these things?
yeah.
Because I know from my personal experience, when I'm going to the gym, it's because I'm chasing a bit of a good feeling. You've done a couple of nice lifts, and you come out and you kind of have a little bit of a buzz, exercise buzz, dopamine or whatever it
Yeah.
might be.
Back
The
back straight, shoulders up. Yeah. I mean, when you look at when you do those lifts, your testosterone spikes massively. That's what increases it. Those normal levels. So, and that gives you the confidence, gives you shoulders back, chest up. Um, and are you in terms of like just me as a person because I'm confident, or like that sort
how they perceive you, and was there a time that
of?
you maybe
Yeah,
weren't, you know, as kind of
yeah.
obviously Jimmy as you are now, or Jim Bro as you are now, um, and how did
So
people
I've
react to you
yeah.
before, and how did they react to you afterwards? Because I had that particular thing where I went to uni at 60 odd kg, and kind of metabolism caught up with me a bit, and I went up to about 75, 80, and that's where I am now. So 20 kilos in 6 years. So uh, I know I recognize both in good and bad ways that people change the way that react to you.
hmm Yeah, so I think you made a compliment. I think on terms of being Jimmy, I think because I was always very
Mm.
active, played rugby, so ties in with going to the gym. Um, would make an, I mean, if you've got it, flaunt it. So I'd wear a tighter t-shirt, like like
Yes,
yeah,
lad.
because I've got now, yeah, like now to be honest, like it's gotten to an interesting point where I'm not really bothered. Like if my t-shirt's tight, it's tight. If it's baggy, like I mean, it's baggy, like cool. you know. But yeah, there was a point where, like I said, I think people always perceive me as like, oh, Jimmy, or go to the gym, and all you talk about is the gym, and I'm like, that's cool, but that's because it's what I love. They're coming to me for advice now, and that's great, and like, it's good. I think people also do form a perception of you. One thing that I never really thought of about Samson Fitness, or the personal training side of things, or the fitness side of things, is how much interaction I could actually get with dentists as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people that say to me, "Oh, if you get too big, you're going to be too big for a dentist." I'm like,
What's that mean?
"Okay, cool." Yeah, it's like, yeah, like, I'll just get a bigger tunic. Like, um, it's just, it's me. It's who I am. It's what I love. It's what I've kind of tied myself into. I know someone, a couple of people said to me, "Oh, you're a dentist as well." And dentists have said that to me. Dentists have dropped me a message on Instagram. Like blue tick dentists. Let's just say, I won't name names, but blue tick dentists have said to me, "Oh, so like gym advice, like what can you give me?" I've seen a couple of gym dentists repost you and stuff. Like, oh yeah, and this was when I was in fifth year, and they're like, "Oh, cool." And then I think I touch upon, "Oh, it'd be really good to get some dentistry or whatever advice from yourself." And because I'm also a student, what he's right, and they're like, "Oh no way, you're a dental student as well. That's amazing." I'm like, "Yeah." So people definitely do judge, and that's fine. Like, cool. But one thing, like I said, that Samson Fitness has, or the pages
It's opened
allowed me to
some
do, is
doors.
definitely open some doors. But it's open doors in the nice way. Touching back onto the social media side of things, I used to use Instagram, and I've still got a personal Instagram, but I probably use that very rarely now. Because a lot of people actually ended up following me on that as well, which don't hate me if I deleted your follow request. It's just, that's my personal one, but I've started to use it as a marketing tool, and an interactional place where I only see what I want to see. So I only want to see healthy food. I only want to see gym pages. I only want to see exercises, how I can best use it, and then market it to certain people. And it's quite nice that then my interaction with dentists is, I'm able to interact with dentists because they're starting to recognize me as that person, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is why I was so sort of happy and privileged, to so grateful for you to ask me on this, because it's quite nice to finally sort of be sort of like, dentists are kind of the community that is, that I've kind of worked my way hard to get into, is finally recognizing me for my other passion, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
well, I mean, everyone knows that
And that's
I
very
kind
nice.
of want to get the more interesting things out there, and I'm
Good.
completely
Yeah.
bored by Zoom webinars and
Yeah,
teeth
yeah. I
and
haven't watched.
all that
You know,
stuff.
I
Just
haven't
can't.
watched a single one. I literally watched zero um, over lockdown. I'm wondering if there's some interesting comments.
Yeah, are you able to see the comments or not? Have you got it up on your screen?
Unfortunately,
If you
not.
got, if you stick it on
Unfortunately,
your
not.
phone, then and just mute your phone, you'll be able to have a
Yeah.
look as well. We've got my
Oh,
mate taking
interesting.
the mick here. Goes, is it true you can bench 180 kgs jabs? Not
No.
not
Oh, you.
quite. Not quite. The best I've done is 120, and that was quite a while ago, unfortunately.
Mm. um, yeah, but so it's nice to be recognised um, for what I'm trying to do, and what I am working very hard towards, because it's such early doors for fitness, and being able to tie it with my other hobby, or my other
Your
interest,
actual work.
dentistry. Yeah, my actual job, it's just, I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, it's like I'm living it. I'm living my dream. I get to do the gym stuff, even if I'm coming to 1,000 followers, and that makes me like
Mm.
happy. Uh, and I get to go in every day and change, like help people on a different level as well. So I I love it, and I wouldn't, regardless of how hard, or like, I think you want to talk about the managing side of things, and I'd love to get
Oh
into how I
yeah,
manage it. Like,
we'll talk about that because to be honest, I think we've almost kind of covered it. In things that we've already spoken about. It's all about the
yeah,
routine, all about consistency and just doing it, and not. There's no magic bullet. I think a lot of people are looking for like a oh, you just have to drink this whatever, and suddenly you can go to the gym 4 times a day
It's
and go to work.
just hard fucking
Mm,
work. That's all it is. It's like, and I wouldn't even, if you see it on my story, it's just, I mean, the two words that I've probably put there most is just hard work harder, and
and consistently, I think that's the other thing. Because there's
consistent. Yeah,
guys that you and I
it's
both know, and
mm,
friends of ours or whatever it might be, who are amazing for 3 months, lose a load of fat.
mhm.
Oh, I look pretty good now, and then spiral back into what caused them to do that in the first place. So they're inconsistent with it, and then 6 months later, 9 months later, they're back in square one, and you go,
it's
okay, now I've got
yeah,
to do it all
it's
again.
so hard. Yeah, it's so hard to get. It's easy to maintain. And it's just hard work. Or just work hard. I would say. Like, I mean, yeah. But people, I put up I actually got a lot of comments about my
Yeah,
routine. People like you, you wake up at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm in bed by 10. Like the rest of the
I
world
wish I
is
was
as
in bed
well.
by 10.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not good at
I
going to bed
you,
anymore early.
you can train yourself. I mean, I think it's important to, but I just love doing it. I think it's a lot of hard work. Don't get
Mm.
me wrong. I think, like I said, I mean, if I talk you through my daily routine, like if you're
Yeah, go
interested or
shoot,
people are
shoot. We'll
interested,
hear what you're all about, man.
I mean, it's wake up at 5. Um, Nowadays, I'm doing half an hour of stretching and then abs. So I'll do Monday 60 crunches, 90, 100 crunches on Friday in the morning after my stretching. So that's just that way I've hit at least 250 crunches, which is basically an ab workout.
Yeah,
Um, then Saturday, Sunday, I'll give myself off because again, like everybody wants a little bit of a lie-in. And then I'll have my first meal. Now I'm training 6, so then I'll stretch, have my first meal from about 5:40 to 5:50. That digests pretty well. Um, and then 6 o'clock, I'm in the gym. 6 till 7, maybe 10 past 7, I hit a workout. I'm out of the house by 7:30.
right.
In practice by quarter past 8. Um, I've got changed and everything in my chair by 8:30. First patient's in at 9. Um, then rock around lunch, 1 o'clock. 1 till 2 is probably when I'll do my client check-ins, or like my notes in the
Yeah,
morning. I try and make sure that I stay on top of my notes. Um, Client check-ins, I'll, like I said, do some bits for Instagram. Just I think it's good. It's good marketing. It's people enjoy seeing it as well, and I like the interaction. Patient back in at 2. Like I said, you were saying like my clinical activity is still
bit limited.
so full
Yeah.
on. Like, no, my clinic. I mean, I'm still doing AGPs,
Oh, they're
extractions,
throwing you
root.
in because I've seen some places where
Yeah,
they're kind of
no,
hamstringing the FDs a little, and not doing too
no.
much.
I mean, I'm very very lucky, but I mean, I've had like 10 patients a day, sometimes less, sometimes more. So it's still full on, and then I'll try and finish my last patient by
Mm.
4:45. I want the notes. I mean, today I want all my notes done by 5. I'm out by 5, and then if I wasn't doing cardio in the morning, I'd then hit the gym 6 till 7 in the evening instead, and then come back, have the last meal of the day. Meal prep is important, just throwing it in there. But yeah, so it's very full on. But Monday to Thursday, working in redeployment as well. So um, it's tough, but like I think you'll probably heard the quote: "If it was easy, everyone would be
Yeah, I
doing it."
mean that's kind of what I was getting at with, when the girls say, "Oh yeah, I don't want to get too bulky." I mean, every guy would be bloody
Yeah,
monstrous if it was that easy because
muscles coming out of their ears.
yeah,
You know,
because
yeah.
I mean everybody wants it at some level, whether or not you prefer like a slightly leaner or skinnier physique, or someone who's a bit
Yeah,
chunkier,
totally.
or um
I've had a client that says, "I don't want to put on muscle and look like you."
thanks.
I'm like, "That's fine." Yeah, yeah. I'm like, it's not for
Yeah.
everyone. It's not. Some people say I'm too lean. Some people say, "Oh," I mean, I had comments when I was at uni, um, when I had my tunic on. And they're like, "Your arms are disgusting." I'm like,
Who said that? Let's flame
"Beautiful."
someone.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would. I could name and shame, but I won't. But it's. I'm looking at it thinking, it's because you'll never have arms like this, you know. It's one of them things. Like, it's cool. People, like I said, people are very quick as well just to make those comments and judge, which is why I'd never judge, because I've been judged on multiple things and in my life on so many different things.
I don't know about if you find this as well, but the guys in the gym, as a generalization, are generally the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
like genuinely the nicest people you'll meet.
Yeah, like I love. I stopped. I can't do a commercial gym. I pay around £60 per month for gym memberships, and that's at 2 bodybuilding gyms.
Yeah.
And then that's one, because I think it's great to support
local business sort of thing. Yeah.
Like the local businesses, they're the ones that are going to stand by you and help you. But secondly, it's just the atmosphere. Everybody in there wants to lift. Everybody in there wants to train. I mean, I joined a gym after moving back home, Highlands Gym. Shout out to Highlands Gym. Like, they were fantastic through my prep. Like, I wake up at 6 and I would be doing Stairmaster, and people were like, "Oh, you know, I may as well jump on Stairmaster." And I'd have conversations with 3 different people, and then another one of my PT's clients, for like an hour, just about like life or the gym or train. Yeah, and you just don't get that. I mean, again, shout out to my other gym, D's Muscle and Fitness. The owner spent half an hour with me after my competition. So this was last week, just before gym shut. Half an hour, literally after my training session, posing with me and touch up my posing. And it's like, that is, I didn't pay him for that. He just said to me, "If you're free one time,
let's do it.
Let me know when when you're free. I'll run over with your posing, because your posing." He said to me, "My posing was shit." And when he went through it with me, I was like, "My posing was actually really shit." You're always learning. And so that environment and that atmosphere and that, like, you know, it's just, I just think it's, I'll touch on another one briefly. This is how, like, raw, how you want to get it. I mean, I don't know if people saw, but like I said, there was one of there was like someone who passed away, one of my best mates, family member. I won't get too much into it, but the gym basically set up a kind of an avenue where they could say goodbye to him.
Right.
And so, you know, you got almost 120 people that might have only met this person once, to wish him goodbye. And I just think, like, if you can, that there's a community out there or a place out there that, like, can have that impact on someone's lives and so many people, and then be able to offer that to someone. If I explain that quite, I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a community around that gym, and obviously something really sad has happened.
Yeah.
And that kind of community is there for you in a way that maybe other sections wouldn't be.
And even just that whole sort of, what's best to put it, like, experience and kind of like everything about that kind of embodies what I think small businesses like gyms really sort of should show. The same guy has also done like a video about gyms shutting down. It's got almost over 250,000 views now, actually. Gym in Solihull. And, you know, it's just like, that's why I love those kind of gyms, you know, and they are in there the nicest people you'll ever meet. And I try and urge even the females that message me, I say, you know, some of them say, "Oh, I really want to try that gym out." Like, I'm like, "Yeah, like, go do it. Like, try it out. It's sick, awesome equipment." And some of the guys, I'm like, "You know what? If you've got a choice between you're 17, 18 and you want to join a commercial or bodybuilding, go all out if you want to do it." Because I think I wish I'd done it sooner. But yeah, that has really helped me as well. Just even, you don't have to be serious about lifting, because there's people in there that aren't
casual, you know, keeping fit.
Yeah, they're casual lifters. Yeah, they're not competitive bodybuilders.
Yeah, I felt that same sort of thing where certainly, I think in university there was definitely that thing of the people that I knew who were, you know, I'm not going to say bodybuilders, but the guys who were into the gym, as opposed to the guys who would, or people who would just go every now and then. Like, there was definitely like a brotherhood there.
Hit arms and chests.
There was definitely a brotherhood there with the guys who were a bit more serious, and I still speak to pretty much every single one of them at some level Although, I think it's been difficult during lockdown to keep in touch, but
Mm.
I know that I can call these guys and go, oh, what's up? Do you fancy meeting up when everything's all right? And they'll be like 100% down.
Yeah,
So I think there's definitely something there about the kind of people who get into these things who are very much um, team players, or good kind of people to have around. They'll build you up as opposed to people who are jealousy types.
100%. Even with my personal trainer, he's now one of my closest and best friends. Like he supports me, motivates me. He keeps me humble. Um, he's my training partner, and like that whole gym is like I said, you okay now I don't again I want this to be as honest as possible. Like when you're at uni and you end up drinking so much to the point where you're pushing your body to its limits is the best way to put it. Um, he's now I found that the gym, and so when you're drinking, you kind of go out to a club, meet people. Um, like alcohol is kind of that kind of barrier that ends up coming down, like helps the barrier come down socially, if that makes sense. Does that
Yeah,
make
I
sense?
mean, I've seen.
Um,
I don't drink myself, but I kind of know the idea behind
okay,
a lot of what goes on and stuff. Yeah,
but now I see the gym as that sort of pushing my body to the limit, that social element where I go and see my mate or like one of my best mates, and we'll sit down like 5 10 minutes before, have a chat. We'll then go and have a session. We'll have a chat. It'll be a six session. Push each other again to our limits, but in a
yeah.
different way. And at the end, say, right, I'll see you the next time, rather than going out. See you next time at the gym, and then you message each other when you want to do it. Like when rather than when do you want to go out to a club,
I
when do
think
you
it's
want to
interesting
go
you
to the
say that
gym?
because that's probably what I would say is where I found my group when I was in uni. Because I'm not someone that drinks. I went with the guys because you're in
Mm.
freshers, and if I'm not
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
then I'm sat alone in the hall. So I did every now and then, head out and stuff like that. But it really wasn't the place for me. And after a while, you just find that it just wasn't my kind of place. I'm not drinking, not doing these things with
okay,
girls, etc., whatever it might be. And then
yeah.
in the gym, it was like, oh yeah, we'll do all these things, and then we'll go get a munch or whatever it is. And it was very
It
much
kind of suits your
suits my
personality.
personality, the way that I want to live my life and values and things like that, so much more. And it sounds like, and it's something that you can keep up as well. I think people who are
Mm.
drinking and
It's
drinking and
it's
drinking,
sustainable.
you can't sustain that because at some point you're going to screw something up in your life.
Mm. And I think again, I want this to be as honest as possible. I mean, I put up a picture um, on my personal Instagram and on my personal trainer Instagram actually, and it was the week before the first lockdown happened, and me and my mates, I think we went out for a meal, and then I mean, I've got like alcohol all down my t-shirt, got a drink in my hand. And I said, I think this is like honest stuff. I think this shouldn't be hidden away from, and it's mad how that was actually like a person or the kind of person you were, or I was as well. Especially like that's what I was pushing my body to and pushing my limits to. And I reckon potentially if I think lockdown was one of the best things that happened to me because I quit drinking teetotal. I didn't have a sip of alcohol. I think for March, April, May, June, like 5 6 months. When we went back to London, my mates were like, "You're not going to drink. You're not going to drink, or do you not want to come out when just with them
Yeah.
or casually?" And I was like, "No." And they say you're boring, and I'm like, I could drink you under the table, you know. It's like I have nothing to prove, but I think as well. You know, you were saying that whole out of control. I personally, I think maybe I don't know, but even for me, it potentially could have gotten to that stage. Being a dentist, that's never good as well. So in a sense, lockdown and I think having the competition and focus, and I said, right, I'm
Yeah.
doing this. But then I think the mental toughness came when I had to prep over lockdown, and it was like, right, keep going, keep going, keep going. In July, when they moved it for like the second or third time, and you get knocked down, I was like, oh. I remember sat in my uni rate with my bro, and he was like, oh, you can just have one drink, have one night to forget it all, and then see what happens. And there is like that.
It's that
Should I
same
not?
voice
But
that
it's
goes,
like
you
you
don't
know
have to
what?
do legs today.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It is. And but in my head, I was like, you know what? Like, no, like I can do it because I knew. when I stepped on stage, it was like, well, maybe that day would have
Derailed you.
affected
Yeah.
it. And yeah, and don't be wrong now, like I said, if I meet my mates or like when all this is over and stuff like, you can get, I'm gonna have a gin and tonic. I mean, before the competition, you have to dehydrate. I mean, I was sipping on wine and gin, so it's not a. But I think as you were saying, it was very close to tipping over the edge to an extent. I think. So I think that environment, I think the gym environment is a lot more conducive and a lot more healthier as well
Yeah.
for me, mentally as well as
Couple of
physically.
questions, by the way. Sean
Yeah.
is actually asking a new real question this time. He goes, how do you manage to stay motivated? We kind of touched upon that, so if you just quickly reel that one off.
Oh, I got to shout out
Yeah.
Bilal if Bilal is watching. Yeah. How do I stay motivated? I say what the motivation coming from a couple of things or a few things. First, I got to give a lot of my motivation to I think that like the closest like people around me because I think they just
Yeah.
support me and they keep me motivated. I said they'll know who they are. I said my family, my best mates, and everyone else in that circle. And I think them consistently saying oh, you can do this or you're this person or you're like this, like it's so good what you're doing. That helps me stay motivated, but also grounded.
Yeah.
I think. To be honest, I think I was getting a bit carried away, and I missed a check in with my coach as well. I think I checked in like he wanted it in the morning. I checked in the evening. I was like, oh, I thought I was then on doing cardio. Didn't get my check in response, and he was like, I'm not doing your check in for you. He sent me a voice note at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm not doing your check in for you. 9 p.m. What is this shit? Like this is bollocks. This isn't you. I'm not doing it for you. And it just made me think, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I was getting carried away with genuinely with like trying to put stuff on Instagram or like I was actually seeing great results from my body, but I was just getting a bit like confident, kind of quite engrossed and like enveloped in the whole thing. And so I was like, that kind of brought me down and kind of think like, right, I need to get back on
Recentered
track.
yourself a little bit.
Yeah, and that keeps me motivated. So I think definitely those like close around me, and then my biggest ones is my uncle, who used to he competed once or twice, and he was a amateur bodybuilder as well. He looked amazing. So him and my dad have always been like my dad's always helped me. Like my gym equipment at home is all like it's all his. You know, it's I just move it from point A to point B. None of it's mine, but some of the stuff is older than me. You know, which is like great. So that kind of keeps me motivated. So definitely those closest around me. But I think just secondly, just the love of it and what I've seen it done to me, and then how I just hope people around like I've seen how positive an effect it's had on my life. Not a lot of people will see that as well. You know, for example, like
these are all
mentally,
internal
physically.
things.
Yeah. And it's things that I'm trying to kind of show a little bit more now. Like, for example, 5 a.m., what I can do, how I can translate, how you can manage, it doesn't have to be the gym, but manage your hobby or your side business, your side hustle, your whatever you want around dentistry. You know, teeth isn't the be all and end all of the world. You know, it's just, and nor does, you know, being a dentist. So I think, just the love of it and how much of an impact it's had on me and how much it's still continuing and how I can try and translate that to other people to help other people is also motivating. Also, even my clients are, again, kind of falling into that circle. I mean, as I got my Apple Watch, kind of broke that on prep, but this has been through the mill with me. And so I compete with, at the moment, like 3 or 4 competitions with my clients. There's like a little bit where you can compete with clients or people. And I think one of my clients won last week, our little competition. And so that's like, okay. And then I think
so they're
they
keeping you
messaged me
honest
saying,
as well. So it's all support networks, really, isn't it? Then
and they were like, bring it, like smashed. I think they did 120-kilometer bike ride. They go for 320 by like mid-November or something. And they're like, bring it on. I'm like that keeps me motivated as well. So you don't have to be, like I said, a competitive bodybuilder or in shape to motivate me. It's just, I say to a few people, I say, one, if you're and then it's like my philosophy, which I'll touch upon, is train hard, train heavy, and train to failure. You can be lifting 10 kilos, but if you're training hard, if it's training heavy, it's heavy for you and training to failure, then you know what, you're motivating me. I'm going to do something. And I've got to lead by example as well, I think, which is why I have to follow these. And also, it's just, I say to everybody, it's why I can only train with certain people as well, which is why I love to train with Alex. I love training with my coach, even love training with my dad. It's if you give me 100%, I'll always give you 110%. I said to my mates, I said, if I worked as hard as I do at dentistry as I did in the gym, I would be, and like I'm going to back myself out, I would literally be top of dental school. I would literally be number one and number two.
Yeah, but you maybe don't have that love for it then. The same way, it's impossible to. Yeah.
If you talk to me now about like a molar endo, if you showed me an A4 article about the gym and science behind it, and you're probably similar, or an A4 article about the science behind a dentine bonding agent or something, trivia like, oh, this new composite has come out. This is its properties.
Yeah, sheer strength.
What am I going to? Yeah. I care, but just
not the same way that some other people do.
Yeah. As you can, like I said at the first, as you can see now, I talk about it so much, passion. But yeah, I'll also again shout out Bill.
Couple of comments from some of the other guys. Anila, it's really interesting to see how both things you enjoy focus around improving yourself. It seems like you need to be really disciplined, which is incredible. And do you ever see yourself going into other sports, or you primarily focused on strength training? You mentioned MMA there.
Yeah, So I do actually. I mean, I'm in my room. I can show everybody. That's my black belt certificate.
Yeah.
So I've always been into mixed martial arts. I took a little bit of boxing. Well, just backyard. We called it backyard boxing club. Me and my barber. People have seen on Instagram. So him and I used to train over lockdown together. And that was really good fun. And so that kind of got me back into it. And so one of the things which mum and dad aren't too keen on, but I think I would love to do a cage fight. My dad says also saying again, he says I'm a little bit tapped now, I think, or a little bit psychopath. But the reason being is it's when you're doing squats and you're taking yourself to failure, you're pushing your body to failure or to its limits. And my coach said to me, my personal trainer, Pete, he said to me, when your body reaches failure or that border between your fight and flight stimulus, you've only really actually tapped into 40% of what your body's capable of. And so I've just now so interested, and I was saying to my barber and I was saying to people, I'd love to see what it's like to be in a fight or flight
situation,
and how can you replicate that in a control in a cage?
Yeah, in the octagon, to see anything.
So I think I said to myself before the age of I'm 24. I want to competing wise. I'd love to. I've got a buzz for it. I'm love it. I think I want to. I'm taking an off season and I want to compete. Maybe next year, if not definitely in 2 years' time, because I think I can win. I know I can win. I know where I need to improve, and I think I can place. But then before the age of 28, maybe before then, I kind of think about I actually got to start living life. While I'm still young, I'd love to do a cage fight. Whether if it's feasible or not, I'm not sure. Right. And a lot of people say, "You nutter," but it's cool. It's cool more than anything else. I think.
I mean, do you watch a lot of MMA and UFC and stuff like that as well?
I follow it. I don't watch it because of ridiculous times, but I follow it a lot. Again, my barber's big on it, and so him and I send each other loads and loads of posts about it.
Are you on the Kamzat train? Are you on the Kamzat train?
What's that train?
He's the guy's going to fight Leon Edwards in December.
I need to look at that. Sorry,
you need to check this guy out.
Okay,
he's basically the next Khabib, everyone's saying, and the guy's a monster.
Does he? He's not the one that's trained by Khabib, is he?
No, that's a different guy. This guy's a Swedish Chechen But
Yeah.
he's just
Okay.
insane. But check that out, yeah.
Mm,
Let me have a look.
no. But yeah, so potentially, but for now, I feel like I'm locked into the
Bodybuilding side. Yeah.
bodybuilding. Yeah.
Let's go through competition prep. What exactly is the?
Mm,
So you've made the
okay.
decision. How long does it like? How long a period do you need from making that decision to being on stage? If that makes sense.
Depends on your
Yeah,
starting
depending on
point.
how long was it for you
Yeah,
then?
it was meant to be 12 weeks. I booked the competition. So when I stepped on stage and I stepped back off, it was quite nice because I set myself 2 New Year's resolutions, and that was one was to graduate and one was to compete. And so in January, I said to myself, work hard this year at my gym and my dentistry. Um, and so once I booked the competition, I was like, okay, got the competition May 31st. Assessed where I was, and then start of March, I was like, right, prep 12 weeks. Realistically, I think depending how hard you want to go in your starting point, most people only do 12 or 16 weeks,
Yeah.
which is around 3 or 4 months, which isn't hard. Then lockdown hit. So 2, 3 weeks into prep, the whole Corona thing comes up, and we're like, oh, sorry, chewing up, get rid of that. Not going to compete, am I not? But I thought, you know what, I've got the home gym. Like, there's plenty of weight. Like, I say to people, if weight isn't an issue, only logistics, you shouldn't have an excuse.
Yeah.
Whether it be 5 kilos or like 50 kilos, you know. I'm just blessed to be in the position I am in, but that means that I have to make the most of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no point a huge setup sitting beneath me if it's not going to be lifted.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had to make the most of it as well. And so went through. Show got moved to September, so I was actually going to be doing junior bodybuilding as well. So I was 23 at the time, or would have still been 23, so that was fine. I was like, you know what, I'll carry on with prep. So kind of reassessed everything, but sort of stuck to my diet. So pretty much maintenance, maybe just above maintenance at this point, rather than going below, went just above to maintain, hold on to my strength. So, you know, I was still squatting like 3.5, 4 plates aside. Was deadlifting, I was benching 120 like comfortably. The strength obviously is going to decrease. I think even in lockdown at one point, I pressed 60 kilo dumbbells for I think 6 or 7 reps, which is like my PB.
Yeah.
So on prep, you kind of grow into prep at a certain point. But I think because it was so long and I maintained my calories high enough, I was able to actually build. I think I definitely built muscle while slowly getting leaner. And you can see that in the photos. And then it comes around to June time, and I'm like, okay, going back to London, but we've got a sort of home gym set up that Alex and I set up in our living room. Like, again, if weight isn't an issue, only logistics. So we managed to get, I think it was 110 kilos on a bar. What we upright rode. I upright rode it to him, and then he passed it to me, and we started benching. Or like I think we could only really squat 90 kilos, so we had to upright row 90 kilos to our chest, throw it on our back, and then
Yeah.
squat it. What else were we doing? It was just mad stuff. But I was like, look, it's on prep. Still keep going. This is what I think I'm going to touch on this prep. So this is May, June, like 4 months in. I'm thinking, oh, I've only got 2 months. It's cool. Like 2 months. It's going to be in like start of September. It's cool. Then they move it to mid-September. I'm like, oh, okay. It's an extra kind of 3 weeks, almost a month, but it's fine. Like, I'm so tied into it now.
So you just got to keep going.
So
Yeah.
then I think it was, yeah. And then I think it was mid-June, or I think end of June, start of July. And the show, they say, we've cancelled it, but we're going to move it, but we don't know when. So then I'm thinking, oh, like, I'm with my mates. I've put so much into it. Like, is this just not for me? Maybe I'm just not meant to compete. maybe it's just meant to be like, I'm only meant to personal train people, or maybe this isn't for me. Maybe what do I do? I remember sending the coach a couple of voice notes, and he was like, it's your decision. Like, I'll support you 110%, which is really nice of him, because I was kind of glad I didn't want him to say, no, you got to compete. It was more, whatever you choose to do, I back you 100%.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I remember, I think I saw it in the morning, about 3 hours later, had a think. I thought, you know what? Like, fuck it, just keep going. Like, why not?
You're not going to
Why
regret,
not?
still going to the gym.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I moved home. So this was, yes. Then it got moved to mid-October because they needed a venue change and a date change as well. And then the problem with that is I ended up going from a junior category to an adults category because it fell my birthday. So 1st of October is my birthday, but the comp fell mid-October. And so I was like, shit, I'm competing as an adult. And, I'm against lads that are late 20s, early 30s, when you really hit your man strength, your peak. I haven't even, like, I'm excited because I haven't even hit my peak yet, I haven't even got my man strength. I haven't even got, like, apparently you go through a second batch of hormones at the age of 25, 26, which I'm so excited for. It's so I was in that category. So shit, like, how am I going to do this? But I was like, right, I am going to then, one of my favorite bodybuilders, Dorian Yates, he was like, no one comes in with the conditioning or like the conditioning or the leanness or the striations or whatever. I mean, everybody's commenting on my conditioning, and even, like I said, the competitors and even my coach and the gym owner, and they were like, your conditioning was second to none. It's just the posing. But so I think during prep, because my prep was so long, it was 8 months. I kept going for 8 months. I think by the end of it, because then I had to meet a weight rather than size,
Right.
because I was competing, wanted to hit. In junior, they didn't have a weight limit. So I think I probably would have cleaned, and even I think I would have cleaned the juniors personally. I got to back myself. I think juniors I would have done very, very well in. But I think there was just a combination, a couple of things. In the last, I was stage lean 4 weeks out. I remember on the 20th of September, I'm looking at pictures and I've still got like veins in my abs. I've got like my obliques are coming through. I've got my striations. So I think for a month then for prep, because it had gone so long, I think I'd eaten into muscle to make weight. And so I think that is probably, again, like in terms of prep, again, now I'm just going to compete at a heavyweight. So now my aim is just stack on as much size as possible.
And you're 6'2",
But
6'3", so it's not going to be easy to keep that sort of
6'3",
that
yeah.
low down. That
It's a
low
long
weight.
way down in a squat as well. Yeah, I competed at 80 kilos.
Mm.
So, I'm talking 4 or 5% body fat, like, was not healthy, They're almost very stringy, almost too stringy, and I couldn't carb up at the right time, I don't think. Like, this is what I take. Again, I got told by my dad, he was saying, if you won or came top 3, you probably would have just ticked that box and moved on. He was like, this gives you something again to work
against,
towards.
yeah.
Keep working. Yeah. So lots to learn from. A lot of people said gut it, like, you should have won or something. Like, I don't care if I didn't win,
It's not the
like,
point.
yeah,
It is the point, but it's also not the point, because
yeah,
it's someone else has been
in my
doing it for
head,
6 years and they know what they're doing. They're dialed in. It's your first shot at it. It's your personal
yeah,
growth and your personal story in a way, as opposed to that's why it's kind of hilarious. When you think about Olympias from back in the day. For me, Frank Zane
yeah,
was always better looking, physique than Arnie's at times. But Arnie's 6'2" and Frank's 5'8", 5'9". So
yeah.
and part of that's because I think I've got the similar sort of frame. So that's kind of why I look at it and go, well, if I was in that position, that's probably where I'd end up.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Yeah,
but the thing is, like, it's not really a one person against the other one. It's not like MMA where you've got to beat the other guy up. It comes down to
yeah.
some guy's opinion. There's nothing
Yeah,
solid
yeah.
behind a place in, behind a first, second, third, or whatever at that point.
And I'll say, the guy that won, we now message each other on Instagram, like comments on my posts. Really nice guy. Like we connected through there, through the competition, and he's a deserved winner. Like he had an amazing physique. I know the person needs work on. So you just kind of go back, you rebuild, you give it another bash, see what happens. But I'm locked into it now. I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the. I'm in hindsight, I'm glad that I didn't place. But like I said, the prep was hard. Like there's a reason why prep's like 8 months long.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be that.
It's not, but I'm a different person. I was a different person when I walked off stage than the person that first booked the competition. Completely different person. Like even I'm saying like the whole drinking and pushing my body and uni, and now I'm like I feel like an adult and got a job and dentistry and like a little business on the side. It's a completely different person, and it's weird to look back at to think that that person started that journey and this is that person. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mean, if I take my own example, I think that's exactly the same thing that's happened to me. You know, I was in a very different place in my life when I started doing insta and podcasting. You know, the idea of podcasting came at a similar time, but until it's actually coming to fruition, where I've done what's this number 29 or 30 on real podcasts and 70 odd Instagram lives over lockdown. I think the guy that started, you know, just in February, March, April time is completely different to now.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, I've seen some of the Instagram live videos as well from the YouTube, and where it's just like I said, it's just gone from the two squares with a black border to like a setup and confidence, and you can see it as well.
I just hate it. I hated Instagram lives. I mean, I got so many more views. Unfortunately, I got so many more views on Instagram live, but there's a trade-off to self-respect in a way of, you know, if I'm listening this back, it's tinny, the audio, it's you know, phone overheats and you lose a session, or the video's not quite crisp enough and stuff like that, you know. So I think it's similar to bodybuilding in a way, because it's, you know, you're the sculptor in the clay, in the same way that whatever I put out on YouTube, it has to be my best work. You know, you've got to put your best foot forward, same way. So I can kind of see the parallels, and obviously I kind of know that feeling of being in the gym and stuff as well. So I do feel like it's very similar. Can I ask you about your diet though? Because I think this is something that a lot of people get wrong and get very confused about. And
yeah, my diet in particular, because
let's go in general, because your diet in particular might be a bit different to the average, you know, whoever.
Yes and no. I mean, yeah. My diet was great. The coach put me on I ate 2,800 calories in my that was my like worst amount of calories, and for anybody that's like a dream, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
But I think I know this is a thing. I think diet gets thrown about a little bit. Sorry. Not chewing gum. Sorry. Yeah, diet gets thrown about a little bit. We can talk about. Okay, let's go. What questions do you think you have? Yeah, that's a better way to put it first. Or what questions do you have?
Are you someone who believes in bulking and cutting cycles? Because I'm not someone who believes, unless I'm going on to, if you're doing a stage, that's completely different. So where maybe let's just ignore the fact that you're Samson who goes on stage, and now you're Samson who just wants to look good when he goes to the beach, or you know, wants to look good on an evening when you go on a date, or you know, in life, you know, you're going around in the you know, just life. You want to look decent.
Yeah.
I think the bulk cut thing is for people who go on stage. Do you think you agree or not?
Yeah, I would agree so. I think it depends on your goals. For example, I think if you said to yourself, "Oh, I've got a holiday in 7 weeks and I want to look good," then maybe you might need to cut a little bit. But I think set bulking and cutting cycles, I do agree. I don't think there's a need for it, especially not if you're just using the gym to stay healthy. If you go gym 3 days a week, maybe you follow a split. Maybe you have one personal training sessions a week. This is outside of lockdown, and you eat relatively okay, maybe a couple of takeaways a week. Great. Like I don't think a bulking and cutting is necessarily for you. I think then it gets into a sticky situation where, so I'll go from experience and from what clients have told me is, oh, I want to put on muscle and lose fat. Most common thing, or a girl would say, I want to put on a little bit of muscle and tone up. Yeah, lads will say lose fat, girls will say tone up. It's all the same thing. What essentially you're saying is you want to put on muscle, which is the prime focus of a bulk, and you want to lose fat, which is the prime focus.
Yeah,
of a
I
cut.
actually believe you can do both at the same time, depending on your level of expertise, and if you're detrained, certainly you can.
100%, and that's where I think I put one of my clients, fantastic client. He won't mind me shouting him out, Kirthan. He did really well, because he was more than happy for me to put it on Instagram. Was his body recomposition, and I think we got 4. I mean, and you can even see, like, he did a scan. I'm not saying these scans are by no means accurate, but what I am saying is if you use the same scan at the start and at the end, then there is some level
consistency
of consistency, and the change is going to be accurate. For example, if I weigh myself on a scale, I'm 100 pounds, and then I weigh myself on the same scale, I'm 105 pounds. What that will show me is I'm putting 5 pounds. On a different scale, it might be 90 to 95, but it's still a net gain of 5. So using the same scan is just to put out there. But his scan results showed if you look at the progress pictures, he's managed to get some abs. He's
I'll have a look. Just keep on talking.
Yeah. So he managed to. Let me try and find the date actually. So we're talking 25th of August, and that was just 4 weeks in. And there's a better one actually, but we got increase in bench press. We got started training legs, started deadlifting, and he's a dentist. Dropping 4% body fat, increasing 4% muscle mass. The weight actually increased, but that's because we put him on creatine as well, and so his water intake went from nothing to about 4 liters a day, which is I'm happy with, because creatine holds water in the muscle. So the weight is just a number. I'm never bothered about a weight. It's how you look in the mirror. Weight is just another number that you can manipulate. So I think when people then you talk about bulking and cutting, I'm using one of my clients as an example. Really what people stress more towards is a body recomposition, where if you have heard of that term, then great. If you haven't, it's
mate, I'm balls deep in bodybuilding.com and forums, so don't worry, there's probably very little you can drop me in and be like, I don't know what's going on.
Sick. So body recomp. So body recomp, I think, is body recomp into a maintenance is probably what most people's goals are. They want to change the way they look, and then they want to keep that for as long as possible. And that's probably what I would steer more people towards if they don't want to competitively do anything, and you just want to be the person that stays healthy. Obviously, then there's some people that are probably a little bit more on the extreme side and so need to cut down, and then some people might be on the lower end of the scale, and again, I've had clients like that, and then they need to bulk up. And so I say to them, your metabolism is so fast, eat whatever you want. And like, are you sure? I'm like, mate, chocolate bar, eat it. Like you need the calories. It will. And I had a fantastic client. I've got his progress picture, but I can't show it. They did amazing in a year. Like, it's frustrating. I can't show it, but like he'll know who he is. Amazing transformation in a year. And I think I showed it to. I was like, I can show it to my dad, and my dad was like, "Have you put him on steroids?" I'm like, "No." I promise you. He was like, "He's done well," and he did. So
yeah. If someone's, for example, I'll give my own example. I was detrained. Let's just say it's 2.5 years, because I had the injury with the back, which put me out for months. Which ironically wasn't dentistry. It was dentistry adjacent. I was throwing away all my old notes into a skip. A big bone bag full.
At least you had a lot of notes.
And then
there you go.
I was doing the little throw of my shoulder, and then my back tweaked. The issue was I had to move out of the house that same day, so I had a lot of crap to move into my car. So I couldn't rest it up. I knew I needed to rest it up, but I couldn't. I had to be out.
You just persevered, don't you?
I was like, and then it was bad because I had to drive back as well, because I'd moved out of uni at this point. So I rolled up a cushion. Not this one actually. It was a red cushion I rolled it up on my car seat into my lumbar.
Do you still have the cushion? Do you still
Yeah,
have the
it's
cushion?
downstairs somewhere, I think.
Somewhere.
Hold on, I've
Oh,
just messed
good,
this up
good,
now.
good.
Um,
You should get that cushion for that chair instead.
this one's nice actually. It's
Okay. All right. Oh, that actually looks like a really nice. That's a gift and
yeah.
a
So
half, isn't
this is
it?
actually my two friends' graduation, and then there's me
Oh,
not
lovely.
graduating because I'm a moron in the middle.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's always that one, isn't there?
but it's fine. Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, no one
Oh mate, if I
cares.
hadn't done it, failing, I wouldn't be doing a podcast. I wouldn't have 48,000 followers on
Yeah,
Instagram or whatever it is now. Or what,
yeah,
all this
yeah.
stuff has a direct implication to
Implications,
the thing
a
that happens.
reason.
Yeah, so I don't regret many of the things that have happened. Obviously, there'll be certain little bits and pieces here and there that you go, I wish that hadn't happened or
Yeah,
whatever. But grand scheme of things, it's all good.
yeah.
What was the point I
No, you
was
should.
making? A body recomp for someone like myself. I mean, 2-3
Yeah.
years out,
Mhm.
I used to lift pretty heavy. I was a bit of a power building is what we were doing. So how would you go
Okay.
back into it? I've gone with PPL twice a week with a rest day whenever I feel like I'm on the edge, and I kind of listen to my body in that way, going, actually, I feel like I maybe about to tweak something here, so I'm just gonna take that day off or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how you structure your PPL. Would be the first thing. So, I mean, you could let's give you some niche
So
advice
you know
now.
what I'm doing
So,
already. It's 6 compounds over
yeah, I,
two a day.
I would I would probably I'd go for two things if I were you. I would want say probably one. I mean, write this down by all means. I would say one, swap it. So a more common split now is push pull rest legs
Yeah.
rest. Okay, and then push pull rest legs rest. On the pull day, you throw in things like RDLs and your deadlifts and your sumo deadlifts. And then so you have the rest, and then your leg day is a true leg day. So
Because
we're
mine's like a
talking
pseudo, yeah, because
like,
I'm doing sumo to try and get my glutes activated,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Then you structure your push pull rest legs so into cycle one, cycle two, and it becomes almost like a 4 or 5 day split, if that makes sense. So it doesn't really tie in with days of the week, but if you track it,
Yeah,
it
I've got the
works.
book, so it's all good.
You have So you have cycle one, which is push pull rest legs rest. Then you have cycle two, push pull rest legs rest. You have different exercises for cycle one and cycle two, and you just keep going over them. So every 10
You
days,
swapped.
you're swapping. So you're shocking your body, but you can track the
Yeah.
progress if your numbers are going up. You know you're getting stronger. That would be the training side of things.
Have you seen much of the Jeff Nippard stuff? Do you
Yes,
like
yeah.
his full body everyday
No,
thing,
no,
but he
no,
does it in
no,
a different exercise thing?
no, because it's okay. I'll come back to it, just because I'm sure you want my
Yeah.
opinion. But I'll touch upon your body recomp question. I mean, Jeff Nippard's got hundreds of thousands of followers, so I'm sure he, yeah.
I
We might
might
only
put
have
it
50 or
in the
60 people
title
listening.
now. Nippard knows
Yeah, yeah,
nothing.
yeah. Do it. Like,
Yeah.
call him out. So yeah, so that would be push pull rest legs for you. Alternatively, I mean, I come up with my own split. I call it the pro split. It's an adaptation of the bro split. So bro split is one body part per week, but I have my own. Me and my coach have what we call a pro split, and so it includes chest and shoulder day. It includes your typical back and biceps day, but then it's got a leg day, like shoulder shams, which is shoulders and arms. So we've structured that split where we're able to hit both muscle groups,
Yeah.
compounds and everything, twice all in 1 week. Active recovery day. I'm going to do a little story post. I was meant to anyway about active recovery. Hate the term rest day. It's active recovery because rest day implies lounged
You're doing
about
nothing.
and yeah, it's active recovery. Then body recomp's quite fine because so this is going into very sort of video consult level now. I feel like I can sum up basically everything kind of like this.
Yeah.
Okay, everything in majority of things in life. For example, like I said, income outgoings. You pass your fail mark. Calories in, calories out. Weight lifted is more weight lifted. So this. So when it comes to training and it comes to training, bulking and cutting, again, you're going to have like weight lifted and calories.
Yeah.
So bulking, they're probably both going to go up. Cutting, they're both going to go down. Okay. We've kind of covered the training side of things. Let's cover the food side of things, nutrition. So now let's take these two levels into nutrition, where you've got calories in and calories out. Yeah. So large cut, your calories out are more than your calories in. There's your deficit. Okay. My deficit on prep was so tiny, so I lost weight slowly.
To avoid any muscle loss,
and so
because that's
yeah. But I think then I ended up having to strip away muscle because there was just literally zero
because it
fat.
got extended again.
There was or in the bulk, your calories in exceed your calories out, and that's your surplus. That's how you're going to gain the weight. More so, it's more kind of water retention as well, carbohydrates stored in the muscle. There will be a little bit of fat, but done correctly, that will also be muscle. Body recomp is kind of, you sort of teeter here.
It's like a sine
calories
wave,
in,
or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where you kind of get into the science of carb cycling. You get into the like glycemic index. Like, let me have my 5 Haribos at straight after my workout, because like you start getting very sciencey about it. If it works, if it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think I went through a body recomp during my prep, as I was putting on muscle and losing weight, which was great. I wouldn't call it a body recomp because I never wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I reckon if I called it probably was. But yeah, you kind of teeter on the edge. Okay, you might have a cheat day, pushes it up a little bit, or a refeed. There is a difference between a refeed day and a cheat day. I got 0 cheat days. I got 2 refeed days. It was worked hard for them. I'll point that out. Actually, no, I got 1 cheat day on my birthday.
Yeah.
Or you kind of dip down where it's like, okay, on your active recovery days, you drop your calories. So you teeter on such a fine edge with body recomp. You just have to get it right, is what I'd say to you.
Yeah.
Is don't go too overboard with your calories. And say, for example, I mean, my oats have like, I mean, it's got like peanut butter, jam, berries, like protein bar, protein powder, honey, sweetener, like banana. It's got so much stuff in it. But I know, okay, I can't get carried away with that stuff if I'm going to have it in there. So similar to you, I'd say you could probably structure it very well.
Yeah.
Have a bagel and eggs, chicken sausages here, cut back a bit by not adding in the honey and the cereal on top of your oats on your active recovery day to drop the carbs. Carb cycling comes into it. So body recomp teeters on a fine edge. But then let's shift back to, if you get your food and your training on point, then ideally you should, be able to grow. And body recomp has, like I said, with one of my clients, with myself and many other people as well, has like fantastic results.
Yeah, I think that
really,
kind of answers the question, really. And it depends on what the overall goals are. Someone who just wants to lose the fat that they've gained over lockdown is going to be very different to someone like me who's thinking, well, I was really happy when I was 84 kilos and relatively lean, and I've lost a lot, so I'm going to be doing something much, much different. I'm just trying to put on as much strength as I can now, and then figure out the rest of the fat side of things once I've got my strength back, because my strength's gone to crap, really. It drops in half. It's sad.
Couple of things I'll point out to you about a strength, but I think you'll be interested, actually. Touching on the Jeff Nipp, I don't agree with. Don't agree. I've tried it. I just don't think it works for me. Is a better way to put it.
I think it works for him because he's dialed it into how he works.
Yeah, and and I think if say, for example, yourself or someone sat down, but this is why I say to everybody, and I urge people to hire a coach. Unless you can do all this yourself, get someone else to do it for you. Like I said, I think fitness is a very delicate game of numbers, and those numbers include macros, weight lifted, tracking your weight, calories, protein, carbs, fats, like even height. Then you're talking like water intake, like other supplements, like percentage of warrant. Like it's if you really want to seriously, or if you want to try and take it seriously, and you can't manipulate those numbers yourself, like I said, you go to dental school
There's a
to learn how
lot
to
of
do
stuff to think
dentistry.
about. You
Yeah.
can dive into these things, guys, on the forums and whatever to learn all this stuff for months and
Mm.
still be a bit clueless.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I said I'd sit read PubMed articles on, like, I think there was one. So I trialed it for a month, and I mean, whether it was results or not, I'm not sure. But it was like mixing glutamine with EAAs to promote muscle synthesis, and that was one of the common ones that I tried. And then I decided to go for bulk powders because apparently they were the best ones.
Couple of shout outs for you, by the way.
So
Alex Kins in the comments and
oh,
Utkarsh Dandekar as well. Thank you for joining us, guys.
we like that.
Check out Hassan's comment as
Yeah,
well. We've got a question to answer as well, mate.
yeah.
Recovery
How do you
tips, basically.
Yeah, so recovery tips. I would say if you're training 5 days a week, structure your rest days would be first thing. Is he a dentist as
Yeah,
well?
yeah.
Just wondering.
That's the guy
Yeah.
that worked in
But,
prisons.
yes. Oh, sick. Oh, cool job.
Yeah.
It sounds it. So I would structure. For example, if you're doing dentistry 5 days a week, don't train on Monday to Friday. I would say train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Take Tuesdays and Thursdays off, because you're going to be doing the dentistry. You're going to be tired. Give your body the rest for the job side of things. If you're going to be on those recovery days, what are you doing? Like, my foam roller's there. I've got a massage gun. What sort of rehab are you doing? Just start with the basics. Watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And kind of be active with it. I Tom, what's his name? Subscribe to a new YouTube channel. I got told by a guy about it in the gym, and it's really good. And he has a beginner stretching routine. And so I've started ticking on my. I'm going to try and find the name. I believe it's Tom something. Is it Tom? Tom Merrick. Tom Merrick.
Okay.
I want to start taking up yoga a bit more seriously. I found bodybuilding is very linear, in the sense you're moving a weight from point A to point
down,
B, like
in, out.
yeah, benches,
Yeah.
squat. So stretching, and I want to transition to some, like, I would love to take up yoga, because it's just so good for the core, sort of the mind, the body. That's something. So every morning, if you can, wake up half an hour earlier. Be proactive in it as well, you know. And Tom Merrick is great. Merrick. Beginner stretching routine. He's got loads of stuff. Pick one of them up on your active recovery days or your non-training days, and do that in the morning. That would be the best thing for recovery. I would say as well, on those days, I say aim for a minimum of 8 to 10K steps.
Yeah.
I was saying to you, dentistry is such an unhealthy profession, but at lunch today, I literally went for, I mean, I picked myself up like some jam and some rice cakes just because I wanted to go to Tesco as well. Just to walk around Tesco. I just literally walked down every single aisle, get my steps up, looked at the food, see if there's anything I fancied, picked up my usual, and then walked back to practice, because I just like, it's nice. I try and practice dentistry standing up a little bit. Try and work out in the morning. Like, on those days, try and hit those steps, because it will contribute to your cardio. It's a form of cardio, neat cardio, NEAT. Giving out all the secrets and all the gems here. So yeah, I would say, yeah, on your rest days, I would say structure your rest days, especially if you're doing dentistry, to literally like days you're practicing dentistry. If it's a 5-day training week, invest in some equipment. For example, a foam roller. I think I got mine from TK Maxx, which was about 12 or 15 quid. And the massage gun did set me back about 70 quid. But one of the best investments. I can say it's great. And then as well, just be proactive in it. So similar to everything, really, it's just wake up half an hour earlier. Say to yourself, all right, get up, brush my teeth for 2 minutes, do my stretching for 20 minutes. You'll be good. And have found or noticed my squat depth. Like, I felt my hips open up a bit more. My squat depth has improved. It has helped, I can see. So that's why when you can start to see positive changes as well, you're more likely to keep it up.
Yeah, and all these things take time, don't they? Because, you know, we know fitness. You know, if
Yeah,
you're looking for 1 month's
mm,
worth of results, you're gonna look pretty similar. And
yeah.
I'll show you my 1 month thing in a bit because
I'd love
I
to see
pretty
it.
much
Yeah.
look the same. But I know that my weight's gone up pretty nicely and my lifts have all gone up. But
Mm.
if you were someone who
I
is
mean,
obsessed with looking really good, you'd be like, well, this doesn't work.
yeah. I mean, I've only done it now. I'm gonna take it. I think everybody saw my cardio one. I've got my stretching one now for my morning routine, and I mean, I only do it, like I said, Monday to Friday, but I've only done it for 3.5 weeks. But like I said, you can see the changes, and it's nice. But yeah, and thank you to Alex King and Cash.
For joining, yeah.
Um, yeah,
Cool.
keep going.
Um,
But
let's have a
any other
look.
questions, or did you have any other questions?
I've got one because I think it's relevant to dentistry and fitness, and we'll
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
test your anatomy a little bit here. So your transverse abdominis,
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
which they call it the bracing belt of the core, or So
yeah.
obviously we've got a job where everyone's sat down a lot of the time, and it can tend
Mhm.
to relax and loosen. So you have that
Yeah,
little bit of a gut
yeah,
almost,
yeah,
even if you haven't got a lot of fat there. And this is one of the
Mhm.
reasons that we get this uh, pelvic tilt, and you get the back pain that comes with it. Are there any tips that
Yeah.
you've got from a gym perspective to dealing with those? Or how to strengthen it
Um,
even?
Firstly, I'd say is has the pelvic tilt been nosed? I would say, because a lot of people also kind of read into it, and people. I mean, one of my clients said, "Oh, I've got an anterior pelvic
Yeah.
tilt. How do I solve it?" I'm like, really? Um, only I say that
I was
because
speaking more generally, so it's like
okay,
yeah,
okay, fair enough, fair enough. I would say one is if you understand where the imbalances are, then kind of correct them. So, for example, if say you know that you've got that pelvic tilt, um, are you doing everything you can to not aggravate it? In the sense, if you're lifting, and so we'll contribute to lifting, how are you squatting? So, a lot of people can either start by squatting straight down and back up into the
yeah,
hole, or and that'll be high bar squat. You might want to try a low bar squat where you start with a hip hinge and then squat into the hole. So that is one example of it's not something you can fix; it's something you manage. Secondly, I would just go back quickly to the diagnosis: is
get it sorted.
always go and
Yeah,
seek, yeah, get sort of seek a specialist, because with mine, I thought I could kind of train through it and persevere. I found out like I had anterior like rotation of my hips, lumbar curvature, and my shoulder dropped, like scapula just went straight down and
mm.
out. So I would say first osteopath, chiro, or a body therapist. Um, I'm not a fan of physiotherapists. Sorry to all the physiotherapists out there. I just personal experience. So I've had better experience with my body therapist, who was amazing. Then look at changing up your training. So, for example, looking at different methods of training. So, for example, even with deadlift, are you deadlifting correctly?
Yeah,
So, a lot of people, firstly, they will do one under, one over, which I used to do this. Now I'm a double over. I never go one because that contributes to my hip. Um, and just because you think you do another set the other way around, it just doesn't work. So then when people deadlift, or even if they rack pull, or even sumo as well, as about keeping a neutral spine,
yeah.
sitting into a deadlift and pulling with your hamstrings and glutes first, then your lower back. Eddie Hall had a really good video, and he said he only trained like the first 2/3 of a deadlift, the range
It
of
didn't look
motion,
out.
because yeah, because he knew his lower back could lock out. The lower back's a fantastic muscle. Um, you mentioned core
Yeah,
though.
I think we've kind of
Just
got
to note,
sidetracked on pelvic tilt there a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, I was more maybe
you,
thinking about TVA because you get that little gut,
yeah,
and I think you see that quite
I
commonly,
would
don't you?
say, I would say, focus on more, for example, ab rollouts, plank. I would say stray away from things like crunches, weighted ab
Mm,
exercises. Even if it's just like body weight crunches, stray away from sort of building your abdominals.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand the difference between abs and core.
Yeah, this is the point I was trying
Your
to
abs, yeah,
get.
your abs are the your abs are the sort of external stabilizers and the ones that you see. Your internal stabilizers is your core. So planks, ab rollouts are probably two of the best things. Lots of side planks
Vacuums,
as well.
do you like doing them?
I do vacuums after my ab workout, but I think they're done incorrectly, or not everyone can do them, which is why I'm steering away from breathing. But vacuuming is very good. There was another one. Oh, and also don't forget your lower back. So a lot of people will always say, okay, I'll do crunches, train or whatever, train my abs.
Yeah.
But remember, your core is also made up of your spinous erectus, so your lower back muscles. So body weight hyperextensions with a holding a plate here. Like your core is made up of muscles in the front and the back, not just the front. So don't forget strengthening the back muscles either. Would be another salient point to take away.
I think finally, go for it.
I think the last thing is, again, look at it's very easy and hard. Look at yourself, if that makes sense. Are you doing everything you can with your posture? Sorry, with your posture. So, are you still sitting upright, shoulders back, or are you hunched over? Are you doing? I was doing it today because I had a difficult 7. So momentarily, I went like this, and then I went back up to carry out dentistry. Be conscious of your posture, and I know it's hard to be conscious of your posture all the time, especially when you're carrying it out. But then, if that is the case, do it standing up. I've got a saddle chair. I hate the saddle chair. Albeit for a lengthier treatment, I'll sit down on my saddle chair and make sure I employ good posture. But exams, dentures,
extractions, all these sorts of things.
Extractions. I mean, even to an extent, if I have to do some scale and polish, I'll just like stand up because I end up having the chair so high, and my nurse has to stand up as well, actually. Because when I'm sitting down,
You're bringing it right up.
yeah, I'm still here, and so the patient's literally like got the best aerial view of the room, and so the nurse ends up having to stand up. So it's easier for me then I may as well just stand up, have it at a comfortable height that me and my nurse can both work at. So again, just being conscious of those things as well. If you do have a proper chair, flick the thing at the bottom and push it right the way forward. When I'm writing the notes towards the end of the day,
but you just rested.
Yeah. I use my nurse's chair to write my notes. If I'm going to be there for about 10 minutes, because I need that pushing support, because I know I can slouch over my computer and start bashing away. But actually, you want to be back here. But yeah, so a few things hopefully for people to take.
Yeah, no, good tips. I think that's pretty good.
Awareness of it.
What was I going to say? The last couple of bits were like, I've taken up quite a lot of your time, and I know you go to bed at 10, so you're close to bedtime, mate.
No, I don't think we've got much on tomorrow, so it's fine, don't worry.
Neck is the other thing we have, isn't it? We kind of touched on it a bit earlier. So is there any neck exercises you reckon are useful that guys can look at to keep it in check?
Again, Tom Merrick starts all his stretching routines from head downwards. So he'll always stretch out the neck. So, I mean, his ones are here, like the basic ones here, rolling the neck, pushing against it. And then I think a lot of neck problems also stem from your traps. So tight traps cause a tighter neck. Often when you're hunched over, your traps are quite tight. So literally when the masseuse, and then I continued with my massage gun as well, and literally I had no neck problems but she was like, your traps were so tight, hence your neck was loosening up your traps. Lots of scapular rotations would be a good thing. I would say, if you can as well, I know it sounds heavy shrugs, because the weight of the shrug will give your traps the stretch
on the way down,
on the way down, and open everything up, and then you'll be able to contract. But I think heavy shrugs to get the stretch. Similarly, with lats, heavy lat pull downs, you want to get a good lat stretch. But scapular rotations and heavy shrugs, I would say, to open up your traps will help with your neck. But again, if in a massive invest in stuff. I think I mean, some of the best bits of equipment or the best investments I made in the gym is equipment.
Yeah.
Wrist wraps, knee wraps. I think I've only ever had one set of knee wraps. My lifting belt, my foam roller, massage gun. They're like the best things I've spent money on.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be
An initial outlay.
Initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like an intraoral camera as you're a dentist.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to take amazing photos. But I'd say, well, you're not going to take amazing photos if you retire early. So loosen up the traps and neck as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Awesome. I think we probably kept you for as long as we can for tonight. We could find you on Instagram. The handle is on screen, guys. You can see it, Samson_fitness. You also do some PT training. So where can guys find you for that?
Yeah. Again, so the link is the website link. It's samsonfitness.mypthub.net. samsonfitness.mypthub.net. The link is also in my Instagram bio. But again, if anybody has any questions, then about anything, drop me a DM. I'm more, even if people aren't interested in the training and they just have questions
about anything we spoke about,
about health, fitness, like their own goals. A lot of people even send me training plans, and I just amend them, and they enjoy it. So, literally anything and everything, I'm more than happy just to spend some time out of my day just speaking to people about it, because it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, guys, definitely check out Samson's Instagram page. He's nearing the 1K mark, I think, aren't you? So let's try and get you over that at some point. And yeah, been an absolute pleasure for having you on. Hopefully everyone's taking something on board.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been nice. Like I said, it's nice. I feel really grateful to everybody that's like supported me and sort of, I mean,
gone through the journey with
you. Every single comment on. I think I made sure I replied to every single. This isn't me like showing off. I tried to reply to, or made sure I replied to every single comment on that. I think got like 60, 70 comments, but it's every single person that wished me luck and everything. It's just like I said. Even if it's my little dream, I'm living it. So it's good fun, and it's only upwards.
No, it's been amazing to see that there's guys out there who are doing things like this alongside, the profession that we're all in, and it's nice to see different things because there's podcasts, there's people doing boxing, all sorts of different things. So I'm really glad to have had you on. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again at some point in the future, hopefully after you've placed or something, and things have.
Oh mate, I will win. I will win. It's just a matter of time. I keep telling myself.
But guys, this has been Samson Gahir. Absolute pleasure having you on, man. If everyone's been enjoying the videos that we've been doing, we are going pretty much nightly during lockdown 2.0. Tomorrow we're doing Instagram Q&A. Friday night we've got Tony Kilcoyne from who was previously on the BDA Pet Committee and a few other bits and pieces. He's also a TPD in Yorkshire, so really interested to speak to him. He's got 30 odd years experience, so we'll be hoping to learn a lot from him. Saturday we've got Lele from South Africa, a dental student, and then we'll have got plenty going from the rest of the week as well. It's 8 p.m. on Friday night, guys, and tomorrow just watch out for the time for the Instagram live. It's probably gonna be 9 p.m. I would reckon. But if you've been enjoying it, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. If you want to help me out and support what I'm doing, check out the Patreon group where we're trying to get a bit of a community of young dentists and people from around the world, so we can all kind of get in there and converse. That goes from £3 a month to join that, and we get discounts from the likes of ProDent USA and a few other companies, plus some Instagram one-on-one tutoring if you're wanting to get your reach a bit bigger, etc. I'm also doing a bit of that stuff, so check out that, guys. Been an absolute pleasure to have Samson on. Thank you for coming on, mate.